Hey there, what is going on everybody? Hope you are well. It had been a couple of months since I had last used my Hario single cup brewer, which to be honest made me a little bit sad because I really like this brewer. And when I saw that James Hoffman posted a video specifically on the single cup V60, I got pretty excited and it gave me the motivation to pull this out and give it another try. But after giving this recipe a go a few times, something about it just wasn't working out. I wasn't hitting the target 3-minute brew time, which honestly isn't super important, but the coffee that was coming out was pretty dry and honestly a little bit on the weak side for me. Now at first I thought, of course this must be because I'm trying to do it with my fellow, which was the V1 burrs, which don't really go fine enough for this, but I thought I'd try it out anyway. So I pulled my Vario out one morning and tried a few more times and went finer and finer and finer until eventually I got really close to my espresso grind, about 2 clicks away from it. And at that point I realized what it was that I was doing wrong. And once I made this adjustment, my brew times immediately improved and I was getting times around 3 minutes, 30 seconds and 4 minutes. So I backed off the grind a whole bunch and my cups started tasting a lot sweeter and cleaner. Now this isn't to say that there's anything wrong with Hoffman's recipe at all, but this one adjustment made a huge difference for me, and if you find yourself struggling with this recipe, then it may be worth a try. Now when you're making any pour over, the first minute of the brew has a big impact on how the rest of the brew goes. During the bloom, you want to release gases from the coffee as well as settle the coffee bed down. That way, as you're pouring the rest of the brew, there's a little bit of resistance so that the water doesn't jet right through the coffee bed. And for me, 50 grams just wasn't enough to make that happen. I got a lot of the gases released, but the bloom dried out really fast and the coffee bed just didn't settle back down. It kind of froze in place, which meant that I didn't get that resistance, and no matter how fine I took the grind, I still got the same result. So on the left is the problem I was having, and on the right is how I solved it. So you'll see during the bloom, on the left I only go to 50 grams, and on the right I go to 50 and then I keep going at a slower flow rate until I hit 75, allowing a lot more gases to come out. So you see on the left, that swirl really wasn't very effective, and on the right, once I get to it, I have a much easier time getting the coffee to level out. Also, apologies for how shaky the table is. I had to raise up this platform a little bit using some boxes, so I'm basically brewing coffee on a big stack of Jenga blocks. Now at this point, both brews are at 100 grams. Now even though on the right I have some high and dry grounds, it's not really that big of a deal and didn't really affect this cup too much. I'm also using a slightly slower flow rate. I did measure them. On the left it was around 4 to 5 grams per second, and on the right it was about 3 to 4. Now you might say that this is probably enough to make the difference, but it really wasn't. In the dozen or so coffees that I tried, the flow rate only made a very small difference of about 5 to 10 seconds. However, I did prefer using the lower flow rate. Now there's not much else that's interesting to talk about right here, so let's skip to the drawdown. And these coffees are still synced up, and you can see that on the left the drawdown is beginning, and on the right I'm still pouring a little bit, but the drawdowns are going to be significantly different. And I was able to take care of a little bit of those high and dry grounds with that last swirl. So you can see on the left it's just shy of 29 seconds for the drawdown, whereas on the right it's going to continue for almost 50 seconds. And I don't mind if you want to sit here and watch this drain. It's fine. Hoffman's recipe is linked down below in case you haven't tried it yet, and I'm wondering if you have, did you have to make any adjustments? Are you enjoying it? Leave a comment down below, consider subscribing if you're liking the content, and I'll see you next time.